All right, I think we're here. Is this legit? Are we streaming?
Nice costume.
Thank you. Let me check my stream health. Let's see if we're. Woohoo! Oh, you have no idea how happy this makes me because we were struggle streaming last time we went live. Let's check audio. How's audio?
I can hear you right fine, but I'm right here.
No, I'm saying check it on the stream, silly.
I can hear you right fine, but I'm right here.
Okay. Well. Welcome back to Living in the Pacific Northwest with Hal Byrd. I'm Hal Byrd. For those of you who don't know me, this might be the first live stream that you're joining us on. And I am a realtor in Southwest Washington and Portland, Oregon. And
You are the realtor.
according to my husband, my lovely husband, JB over there,
Hello.
I am the realtor. It's Halloween. We are so excited to have a good day. I mean, I don't know where I heard this saying, but it's a good day to have a good day. I feel like that was my high school dance teacher, but might
Shout
not
out
be.
to your high school dance teacher.
Danielle Mancuso, what's up? Okay.
Was she a teacher or like a?
Yeah, at the high school.
And you know her? Remember her name?
Yeah, I can remember her name.
Good.
I remember most of my teachers' names actually. Professors from college, not so much. Okay. So yeah, it's a good day to have a good day. We had a great day yesterday. Have some fun plans today, and now we're joining you live, which is so exciting to be here, to be live, to get back into the swing of things for our Tuesday live streams. And I'll let you guess my costume. First of all, I'm wearing a Pendleton sweater because, are you really in the Northwest if you don't love Pendleton? You can guess my comments on the costume. Cool. So, what do I need to tell you? I am a certified relocation specialist. I'm also a certified luxury realtor. And I help people who were in the same position as me just a few years ago, specifically relocate from out of state to a new area in the Portland Metro and Southwest Washington areas. And I really wanted to be the resource that we didn't have when we moved here. So that's what this channel is all about. You'll see videos about the different areas of town. You'll see videos about our life because it's not just about real estate for us. When you work with myself and my team, which is a Bird's Eye Relocation team, which includes myself as your realtor, as the realtor, as Jarrett says. You get my husband as a consultant, an unlicensed consultant, meaning he is not a realtor, he's a real estate investor. Which my clients love, speaking to him about real estate investing strategy and getting his opinions on things, having renovated many homes. So you get his wealth and breadth of knowledge. You also get kind of my behind the scenes support staff. We have my transaction coordinator, Valeska. She's basically my transaction assistant and works on all of the paperwork, making sure our deadlines are tight, getting you everything you need once you go under contract. So you won't even meet her until you're under contract on a home. And then we have my video editor, Lee Mart, who's behind the scenes. And I have a social media manager named Ivan. So it is a team of 5 of us. So even though you see my face and my name, you're really getting a lot more when you work with us. And I would say a lot more than compared to other realtors in 2 senses. The first one is because I relocated and I specialize in relocation, I provide services that are specific to relocation clients at no additional charge. And the other thing that you're getting, which is a little bit more intangible, but you're really getting a community when you work with our team.
Give them the tagline.
So this actually came from my very first client, and I loved what she gave me a thank you card after her purchase, and she said that, even though they were clients first, they wanted to be friends for life, and that's kind of been the mantra that's driven our business and the community that we have with our clients. So we always say that you can be clients first, but friends for life. And once you are a client, you become a friend for life. And we'll show you some ways that we encourage creating a community and friendship with you. That's something that's important to us. I know it's not important to everyone, but we know what it's like to move here, not know anyone. And when you move here, I mean, maybe you have family here, but maybe you don't. We didn't. And maybe you have friends here. Maybe you don't. We didn't. But maybe, you know, we can make some connections with you or connections for you to other people who are like you. I have clients from all different backgrounds and walks of life and places and all different ages and married folks, single, people with kids, people without kids. Like, my client base is very diverse, and I think that that's it's beautiful. I love working with my clients, like, for so many different reasons. I get to work with the best people. You are the best people, so thank you for being here.
And I wanted to say one other thing, and I say this a lot. It's kind of cynical, but it's true. Like, you know, there's no shortage of real estate agents. There's literally over 1 million real estate agents in our country alone. So you throw a stone, chances are you probably at least skim an agent or two in the crowd. But so I'm sure everyone listening to the sound of my voice and watching your face knows multiple people who are licensed real estate agents, right? But to me, what makes you so much different in working with you is that our kind of like my new favorite tagline, which is you don't just get a home, you get a community, and you get someone who cares about.
Whoa! You've said that before, and it didn't really hit the way that it did when you said it just now. You don't just get a home, you get a community.
You just heard that for the first time?
No, I'm just hearing it differently today.
Yeah, I mean, because again, you can work with somebody and hopefully make it through, have a successful transaction and process, but then you're in essence you're a number, you're a transaction. Which is nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we're in business. This is how we feed our family as well. But you'll get so much more, and then it kind of leads into what we're going to share with you guys next. But yeah, you don't just get a home; you get a community. You get people. You get a community, and to me, that, like, I don't know what price tag you put on something like that. Shut up, Alexa.
Can you go turn her off? She's gonna. So also, if you follow me on Instagram, that's a reminder to call my eye doctor because I need a contact refill. I do want to show off. We just got these Stanley mugs. Hopefully I can do this without spilling on my computer. So we've got these Stanley mugs. Is it going to focus?
You don't just get a home, you get a Stanley mug.
You don't just get a home, you get a Stanley mug. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm such a girly girl. My nails match my Stanley mug.
You're getting ridiculous. What's next, a pink poodle?
No pink poodles. I grew up very much like a tomboy, like playing sports. My dad really should have had a boy, and he really tried to get me to play ice hockey, and I was like, Dad, that's where I draw the line. I'm not playing ice hockey. But that's what he played growing up. Anyway, so this one's pink, but I don't think we're going to order a bunch of them in pink. I think we'll probably do like black and white. Jared has a black one. And so we got it embroidered. What do you call this with our logo?
It's actually engraved.
Engraved, thank you. So it says Bird's Eye Relocation, and then it has my website, homewithhal.com. I don't know if you guys have ever seen our logo. I know it's backwards for you, but just...
I love your logo.
Thank you. I could flip it around, but I just don't. So anyway, it's engraved. It's got little, let's see. Come on, focus. No. Okay. Anyway, it's got little like peaks, like mountains, because it's P&W, and then they have little chimneys, like a roof. So it's like a combination of a house and a mountain, hence P&W and real estate. And then because we're the birds, it's got little soaring birds above the mountain houses.
And if I really want to get deep, because the houses are all in a group, it's again going back to the community theme, right? So, yeah, I love that logo.
Thank you. I designed it myself. I'm multi-talented.
And who is this amazing and much sought after Stanley Quencher mug for?
This is going to be a new gift for clients who close with us.
And referral partners.
And our best referral partners. So I think we're going to get some to some VIP past clients. But, you know,
they ain't cheap.
So they're great. And these ones are often sold out. Like every time they come out with a new color, it's like the big 40-ounce one.
Yeah, I like it because like we have a smaller one, but this one I like the size. Because you know it can carry you throughout the day, but it's hot and cold, so you can put hot and cold, not just like the smaller ones, which are typically cold liquids only.
What's in your mug today?
My coffee mug or my Stanley
Stanley mug. You don't even know.
Dick Gregory tea, Earl Grey, something. I don't know.
He calls Earl Grey tea Dick Gregory. So one thing you do need to know about Jarrett is that he will rename something to like his own accord. So if there's like our own little language in our house, and so you'll hear stuff, especially if you get to know him. So like, for instance, he calls sparkling water wacky water. Just one of the many things. I don't think your mic is on, dear.
Oh, of course.
It's not powered on. Hopefully they heard you. Okay, so let's jump into our agenda. What's next on our agenda, dear?
I'm trying to get powered up here, first of all,
I think we're going to talk about going... so what we have for you today, let me do an overview. So we're going to talk about...
Does my mic sound nice?
Yeah, your mic is on now. I just realized that I only had one audio channel coming through. We're going to talk about some client events going on the theme with, getting a community. So we're going to talk about the two most recent client events we did. One was in the end of September, and then the other was in the middle of October, just 2 weekends ago. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a market update for you. And then we're going to talk about some of the things we've done in our personal lives that probably won't make it to the channel, but I think it's fun to share with you guys, what we do in our lifestyle, because so many people that move here are moving here because of the lifestyle of the Pacific Northwest. They want to be more outdoorsy. They want to be more active. They want to be somewhere where there's 4 seasons, where it rains, where it's green, especially for my clients that are coming from California, Southern California, even like Northern California, because of the fires that have been happening. Fire season is getting worse and worse in California every year. We've got people from Texas. They mostly tell me they're leaving Texas for political reasons, just being frank. And then also people from Florida. So all those hot climates are like, and a lot of people from Florida are moving for health reasons. Their doctors down there are telling them getting to like the Pacific Northwest, a more wet climate, is going to be better for a lot of their health conditions. So,
and I left California for a health reason as well.
You left California for a health reason. What was that?
I was sick of paying them damn taxes.
Oh, that was a good one.
It was bad too.
Yeah, I was like, what are you gonna say? Mm-hmm. Hi Ernesto. He says, hey y'all too.
Hey.
So that's what we have for you. We're going to, let's fly through it. Let's get started, yeah?
Let's do this.
How's my stream health? Is it excellent still? We're still on excellent. Okay. Let's see. Does it work? Oh, there we go. Okay. So if this is actually live on the channel right now, this was towards the end of September. We did what we call our client field trips. So we did a field trip to the Bonneville Dam, which is a dam about, 45 minutes from Vancouver?
Yeah, and it's not just a dam. It's literally it's a national historical monument. It's on the registry. It is it's a big destination for visitors. Like over, I forget, 500,000 people a year visit throughout the year. So It's a big deal. It's actually one of the biggest hydroelectric power stations in the entire world. So they have an amazing visitor center on both sides of the Columbia, the Washington and Oregon side.
We went to the Washington side. Of
course.
This is Highway 14.
The drive alone is
Hey.
Hey.
Guess what?
What?
Hold on, I want to get to that part of the video.
Well, you're getting to it. So, and this is something we like enough. We go like at least probably once a year on our own, let alone anytime we have visitors in town, visiting friends. It's kind of on our list because it's just so breathtaking. And we decided it would be a great way to kind of kick off our Bird's Eye Relocation client field trips.
Yeah, so this is live on the channel. Live. But does this look familiar? This is right near where we hiked over the weekend.
It sure is.
That's what made me think. That's why I was like, wait a second.
Okay, I see it.
So, yeah, this is Highway 14. Highway 14 goes from, starts in downtown Vancouver, and so that's the most west point, goes all the way through the south part of Vancouver, Camas, Washougal, and then it takes you into the gorge, and it'll take you, I don't know. We've never been to the end of it. I don't know where it ends. It goes it's the most southern east to west highway in Vancouver. And if you live here, you will be using this quite a bit. Probably the more south you live, the more frequently you'll use it. If you live up in like Salmon Creek or Battleground or Ridgefield, you probably won't use it as much, but you'll still use it. And it's, especially if you go out to the gorge, if you're going to go hiking in the gorge, which is one of the, I think, the best places in the world to hike. It's like world renowned for hiking. There's so many different hikes in there. And so anyway, we did a hike for a friend's birthday over the weekend. We're going to share that with you. But the Bonneville Dam, you were saying, is in the gorge. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. So yeah, it's in the gorge. It's historic. It's just amazing in every sense of the word. Like the engineering that took place, all the things that it serves, and we found out just some awesome tips and facts about the facility.
Mm-hmm. So for this event, we invited a bunch of our past clients. We had about 40 people show up to the dam, and we brought also one of the best bakeries in town. It's called Blue Door Bakery. It's on Main Street in downtown Vancouver.
If you know of a better one, let us know, because we're always on the hunt for new businesses to spotlight and work with.
And support, yeah.
And support, of course.
Very big on supporting local business. Oh, we got new comments. Steve says, looking forward to hearing about the market update. We are in Eastern Washington, but want to move over to the West End. But the interest rates are horrible.
Internet rates are bad, too.
No, they're not. They're fine. Julian says, from what I heard, it's been YouTube that's been acting up on the live streams. Oh, well, that makes sense. So I'm glad to hear that. I've been working since we last went live. I pulled that live down. It was awful. We have standards around here, you know?
Loose ones, but standards nonetheless.
Cool. So we're caught up on comments. So yeah, we had Blue Door Bakery. We picked up some pastries and treats, and we did like a little tailgate thing, and then we all introduced ourselves. So this is what you're seeing here. So you can go watch this video on the channel, but it was a great time. I think everyone really enjoyed themselves. And then we went to Sugar Pine Drive-In, which is one of my favorite places to... Oh, now I'm getting an ad. What is this?
We can't see a little thumbnail.
I'm going to skip my own ad. Is this... I was going to make a comment, but I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. Okay. So this is Sugar Pine. It's a drive-in. They have like outdoor seating and they have limited indoor seating, but you can also just like drive through. This is right on the banks of the Sandy River in Oregon. The food is fantastic. If you want like restaurant quality food and great creative ice cream, I think I like their ice cream better than Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw is like a big, famous, always a line outside of it ice cream shop in Portland. We're actually getting one at the Vancouver waterfront. I think there's two places that are better. I think Sugar Pine is better. It's like soft serve more, but they put a bunch of like add-ins in it. And then also Treat in downtown Vancouver is to me better than Salt and Straw. So go check that video out. This is an example of one of the things that we've done with clients recently. Next, we're going to preview for you the video we did, or the event we did, and made it into a video. We're trying to spotlight, like we do these things with clients, and we go out with clients, and we we try to become friends with our clients and develop a relationship and make you feel welcome, and just in a variety of ways. And so we're doing client events, and we were like, we don't have any footage of it, and it would be really cool to show people on YouTube what we're doing for people after they move. And most of the events we do have no cost to them. So like the Bonneville Dam was completely free. Sugar Pine, you just paid for whatever you wanted to eat. And then the October event we did, it was at Old World Apples. One of my preferred lenders, Rebecca Bustamante, she works for Guild Mortgage. She's dear friend, fantastic person. I can't say enough good things about her. She and her wife own Old World Apples, which is an apple orchard in town. It's like a you-pick apple orchard, and they also press their own cider. And so we had our clients come out. We had about 50 clients out, and for an apple picking event. So no cost. You got all the apples that you wanted for free. And then we also catered it and did a free taco truck. And all my California clients were really happy with the tacos. Some of them hadn't eaten any Mexican food since they came up here. And if you're from California like I am, you know that Mexican food is a big, big deal. And we don't have great Mexican food here. Sorry.
Yet.
There's one place I do like in Vancouver. It's called Lindo on Mill Plain Boulevard. We could do a whole 30-minute to an hour video on Mexican food. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway, it's not posted yet. We're working on editing it. And my video editor just got us our first draft back. So I'm going to preview this for you guys. Do you like the idea of a little sneak peek? Is that fun?
Give them a sneak peek on Halloween.
That was a great video. Wish I was there. I'm talking about the Bonneville one. Yeah, that one's really cool. This event at their apple orchard is going to become an annual event. So we're going to be doing this every year.
I shut my eyes, trying not to speak, pretend that I'm dreaming. I smell your breath, not listening, but I still hear you screaming. Going under, one step away till you hear what I'm saying. Sounds like thunder, and the clouds are closing in. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener, greener than
Take it away.
I'm so obsessed with this video. Like, you have no idea.
People are going to be hyped to watch this one.
Oh my gosh. I cannot even explain how excited I am about this.
Take it down.
Oh no.
What?
It says my video. It's probably because I'm streaming that video. Okay. Anyway, so I was like, where's that music coming from? Gosh, I can't even, like, this is the first time we saw this video was right before we were getting live, and I'm obsessed. I'm super excited. People are sending hearts. Everyone raved about the event. Everyone loved it. They had such a good time. They were like, wow, this was such an experience. That was the word that I kept hearing people say. And so, yeah, that's one of the things that we do that I think is kind of on the intangible side. Like, we continue to invest in our clients even after they purchase a home to help them build community, to give them things to do. And I mean, it's pretty cool to have 40 to 50 people show up for something that you put on. But some of my clients are, busy. Like, you have different things. So it's not like, oh, if you miss this one thing, there won't be other things to go to. There's, right. But it's kind of like, take what you want. Like,
and then I think, I don't know if you said it or one of the commenters said it, it's like, we want things to be an experience, right? Because at the end of the day, one of our favorite quotes is, life is simply a collection of experiences, right? And memories, ultimately. So our jobs are to create the best, most enriching, fulfilling experiences while we're here. And again, going back to what I said earlier, which I don't know if you heard because my mic wasn't on, but there's a million real estate agents. It's not hard to find a licensed realtor or a real estate agent. To me, what sets us apart, I'm saying us as in you, Hal, is that by working with someone who is extraordinarily competent and good and a great negotiator and all of those things you would want your realtor to be, but beyond that, you're getting a community, you're getting experiences, you're getting just, to me, a whole list of things you really can't even put a price tag on. So I love these events. We're already planning in the next couple, which are going to be equally as just interesting, outside the box, and experiential.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move into the market update. Those are some fun things. We have one more client event that we are planning by the end of the year that's going to be in December.
Actually, 2 Christmas ships and then the other one.
Oh, we're doing both.
Yes, we are.
The other one is a new event for this year that's going to be like schwanky. We're excited for it. Cool. Let's move on to the market. So I wanted to show you kind of a trend for the last month. One of the things that you'll notice about market updates is they're often pretty delayed. Like our MLS puts out the market update like a few weeks, in a couple weeks in November, we'll get the market update for October. But if you are someone who can look at numbers and read numbers, you can pull these, not you, I'm talking about realtors, can pull these numbers. And so there's two different types of reports I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the market trends, and I'm going to show you market stats for Clark County, Vancouver, Camas, and Ridgefield. Mostly about prices and days on market, and then we can talk about some kind of trends that I'm seeing. We'll talk about interest rates. So if you have any questions about the market specifically, drop them in the comments. Steve says, we're from the San Diego area, moved here 6 years ago. Yeah, decent Mexican food is hard to find. I know, it's rough.
Sounds like a business opportunity to me.
Somebody's going to come and do it. Hats always make my head itch. Julian says, I wish I was there for Halloween. I said that we had fun Halloween plans in the beginning, and what I mean is that we're getting together with some new clients. We're doing a kind of in-person consultation for some people who moved here because of our YouTube videos, and we were doing a run last year during the Christmas ships in December, and we ran by them, and they were like, hey, we know you, and like we stopped and met them. They were like, we moved here because of you, and now they were renting, now they're ready to start looking to buy probably in the next few months or so we're getting together with them. And then we have a local team meeting that I'm excited about. And then we're going to come home and pass out candy, and that's our fun Halloween for today. I don't know what other things there are to do Halloween-wise. I'm sure there's tons of stuff, but
we're not really
there's like Franklin
people, but there's like a drive-in movie theater thriller thing.
Oh, we should have been showing that what there is to do on Halloween here on a Tuesday.
Well, we tried to do it.
Maybe if we
last week, the week before, that's when we had the technical difficulties.
Yeah, well, maybe if we have time at the end, I'll see if I can find anything to share. We'll see if we have time at the end. Okay, so market. Like I said, drop any questions you have about the market here. So market trends, this is going back a month. So what is the dates on this exactly? So you can only look months back. So this is for September, which I guess it'll be useful. So you can see, starting from the top, we have in September, total listed homes, 537. This is for Clark County, so all of Clark County. Total homes sold, 405 homes sold. Lowest price was $190,000. That was probably on probably some small condo, like a studio or one-bedroom condo, or it could have been a manufactured home. I don't know exactly what that was. Highest sold price was $2 million, 2.1. Average sale price in Clark County was $633. So if you took all of the homes that sold and made the average, which means that like obviously the 190 is going to bring down the average, and the $2 million sale is going to bring up the average. But the median sold price, which is meaning half of the homes sold for more and half of the homes sold for less, so this is actually like the exact middle number, was $554,000 for September. I can already tell you for October it is higher, which I know is hard to believe with interest rates hovering around 8%. How is it that prices aren't going down when interest rates are so high? We'll talk a little bit about that. So then if we look at months of inventory, this is a very important indicator in the real estate market because this tells us usually whether it's a buyer's or seller's market. So when people say, oh, the interest rates are high, it must be a buyer's market. Not necessarily, and not here in Clark County. I think it really does a disservice to your real estate decision making if you only look at the national headlines. Like, look at the national headlines to know, like, from a macro standpoint, where the market might be going, what's happening, because you don't want to, if, let's say, like, this is 2007, and you're in the Silicon Valley, I'm sure, right? This is not me speaking from experience. This is speaking anecdotally from just living through. If all these other real estate markets are struggling and you're in Silicon Valley and things are rising in 2007 and you're like, I can pay any amount for a house, it's going to be fine. Well, then 2008, 9, 10 comes and, you were probably upside down if you had to sell. So like knowing what's going on nationally is important. And I would say equally important, if not more important, is knowing what's going on a micro level, meaning the micro market. Because even if you talk about all of Clark County, that's fairly big because buying in Camas is different than buying in Amboy, than buying in Battleground in Vancouver. There are differences even in those micro markets, and so it's important to know that like national news matters, but also in real estate you kind of want to take it with a grain of salt, because like for us, and I can go back and show you some more like trends price wise, but prices are holding pretty steady, and that's because our inventory is low. So going back to months of inventory, 6 months is usually a balanced market. That means it's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. When we have more than 6 months of inventory, that is when it becomes technically a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months of inventory is considered a seller's market. Going back 2 years to like the COVID seller's market, we were having inventory that was crazy. It was like 0.6, 0.4, like always less than a month of inventory, which basically means that if you have 0.5 months of inventory, which was very common during the COVID seller's market, if no new homes were listed, all of the homes that are listed would sell in 0.5 months or in 15 days. So we were operating on 2 weeks of inventory, which is why it was so difficult, because when new homes aren't getting listed, it makes it challenging. You only have so many homes to choose from. So we had super low inventory then. So it's not just the number of homes, but it's the rate at which homes are selling and the rate at which, if no new homes were listed, we would run out of homes to sell, basically. So to go from consistently being less than a month of inventory in the COVID sellers market to now in 2023 being at 2.5 to 3 months is what I'm seeing it kind of hover at, goes back and forth. It's different, but we still don't have as much inventory. And the way I explained it to a client recently was that if during the COVID sellers market, and let's call that when the rates started dropping in like right after COVID happened, let's say like May of 2020 to when the rates started to increase, which was March of 2022. So that 2-year period, rates were low, so demand was high, and inventory was high, but not as high as demand, and that's what created that seller's market. Now, rates are high, so you would think prices would come down, and they have, but here's the only way that the prices would come down is if demand fell below the supply. And what happened instead was that we have demand here, supply here, and everything just fell down together, meaning we still don't have enough homes to sell. There are even less homes listed, and people just aren't listing their homes as much. And part of the reason for that is that 80% of homeowners have an interest rate that is less than 4%. If your interest rate is 2.75 and you don't have to move, or let's say you have a 3-bedroom house and your backyard is kind of too small, but you'd really love to get into like a 4-bedroom with an office and, have a bigger backyard. Yeah, you'd love that, but it's not a need to move, not a have to move. And so those people, and I just helped clients sell this summer that were in that situation. They were on an 1.5 acres, and the house was kind of too small for their kids. Yes, you can, dear.
What am I? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the TV monitor and not.
Yes.
Sorry.
So these people, they were on an 1.5 acres. They had a house that was slightly too small, and they got their kids into a special language magnet program. And the mom was driving her kids to 2 different schools. One was going to preschool, one was going to kindergarten or first grade, I think. And she had a 40-minute commute to take her 2 kids to school. So because they lived a little bit more remotely, they had acreage. And they're like, we don't want all this maintenance of an 1.5 acres, and we want to be in the busing zone for this school program. So they were like, we're going to effectively double our mortgage payment to make a marginal improvement. Most people aren't doing that. And so that's why you don't see a ton of homes being sold, because the market conditions aren't enough of an incentive. 2 years ago, the market conditions were a huge incentive to upgrade or do lateral moves, or, we want the same kind of house, but we just want to be, on a different side of town or something like that. the market incentives are not there right now. So to go from like a 3.5% interest rate to 8%, most people aren't willing to do that. And, I don't necessarily blame them. That being said, homes sell in every market. There are always reasons to move.
Sorry to cut you off. Can you give us an idea how many homes sold in Clark County last month? Is that possible?
Yes.
September?
I have October's.
Oh, you have October's over?
Yep.
October's not over yet. What if a couple homes sold today?
Well, whatever. I have 30 days of October minus today. So this is September. So we're going to compare them. So, people die, move into retirement homes. They move to be closer to family. They retire and want to relocate. There's divorce. There's school. There's, we literally there's tons of different reasons to move. So I'm not saying that it's a bad time to move or it's a bad time to buy. It's only the right time for certain people in certain situations. And that's one of the things that I think is really important to me, and that I've always been a realtor who was comfortable to tell people, like, I don't think this makes sense for you. I just had a client, I sold their home in September, and she was very close. She wanted to sell that house in one city and buy in another city here. And we explored the option of her buying, and, through our conversations, it was like, no, it really makes sense for you to rent for a year. Like, her situation is going to change. It didn't make sense. So I'm not like so eager to sell. I mean, I love selling homes, but I'm not so eager to sell you a home if it doesn't make sense for your situation. So we can definitely have one-on-one conversations about that. Let me check the comments real quick. Do you think home interest rates will go down soon? So all the smart people talking about like Goldman Sachs and like the mortgage industry in general seems to think that spring is going to, the market is going to, the interest rates are going to come down. That's what they think. I personally don't think that. The only reason that I think that would happen is it is going to be an election year. And from what I understand historically, election years tend to have like softening in interest rates because, people are scared about changes in the economy. And so the Fed sometimes lowers the interest rates to stimulate economic activity. So do I think they're going to go down? I don't know. I honestly don't even think the Fed knows what they're going to do in like mid next year. Like, they might have an idea of where they want things to be in the spring, but do I think they really know what they're going to do in like their summer meetings next year? No, I don't. So everyone is just guessing. So people that are smarter than me say that they're going to go down in spring. I like to be more skeptical. I personally, I have a positive outlook, but I like to prepare for expect the best and prepare for the worst. So I am fully prepared for interest rates to be like, I told one of my clients who bought last November/December, which was the high of the interest rates for 2022. So interest rates started rising March of 2022. They peaked in November, and then they kind of slipped down. And they peaked around 7.25% last November. Then they started sliding down into the spring, which again, yearly is not that uncommon. So I had clients that were closing then in March in like either because they had really good credit or they did a small buy down. They were closing in like the high fives, like 5.99, the low sixes. And now, I would say around July, the rates started going up again. They were at like 6. So they went from being like low sixes to high sixes. Then August we're at like high sevens, and now September, I don't know the exact date. Maybe like a month ago, rates hit like 8% or something like that, whatever the exact date was. And so, yeah, do I really think rates are going to go down? Maybe because it's an election year, maybe because smarter people say so. But like, to me, I'm like, okay, if rates go down, there's a couple things that's going to happen. Number one, prices are going to start skyrocketing. Prices have been very stable. But all these people who can't or refuse to buy with these interest rates, if the interest rates go down, and I don't think they have to go down a lot, if they go down from 8 to 6, and let's say 6.99, that is a huge psychological difference to a lot of people. Like, especially if now they're at 8. I thought they were going to be at 8 at the beginning of 2023. So, and I was like, we could be at, who knows, we could be at 9, 10 at some point in the, future in the next couple years. I don't really know. Like I can talk to you all about relocation and strategies when it comes to buying and selling homes. The economy is like, it's complicated. I mean, most economists don't get it right. So I'm not going to pretend that I have the answers to that, but I would say be prepared for prices to go up. So you might lose buying power even if interest rates go down, and that's something to consider.
One thing, not to cut you off, but one thing we talk about kind of internally and then also to certain clients based on your situation is our, what we call a 2 to 5 year, right? Because again, we're on a journey. Nobody knows what life's going to look like beyond 5 years. I mean, you could plan for it, but I think if you live long enough, we all know that, a lot of times you're like, I didn't see this 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So for us anyway, because of that realization, the idea, instead of going for the biggest and the most expensive home right now, there is something to be said for what we call a 2 to 5 year home, where something that you can afford now, even at today's rates, right? Because again, nobody knows what the rates will be 6 months from now, let alone in an election year,
And
let alone at the precipice of a possible world war. So who the hell knows, right? But if you can get a house that you can afford now, today's rates, 2 to 5 years, kind of see where your journey takes you, and then best case scenario, you have a home that you can afford, that you're in now, you're paying down, and the even better scenario is that if you decide in the future to either downsize or upsize, you now have a very organic house that you can rent out, allow someone else to pay down, and very easily start building a rental portfolio.
You sound like a real estate investor.
I'm just a common sense person.
Jared's a great person to talk to if you're like a newbie if you want to become a real estate investor, you want to have a portfolio. He's a great person to talk to.
Does that make sense though? So
yeah, 100%.
Today's rates are a lot higher than they were 2 years ago, granted.
And even people who think like, well, what if this is like 2007, 2008? Like, what if we're at the top of the market and the prices are going to come down? But if you buy a 2 to 5 year house, it's a house that can suit you for the short term, which, like you were saying, is hard to predict. But when that crash started in 2008, the very, very bottom of the market was 2012. And there are no articles that I have found that say that where we are today is anything like where we were in 2008. Right. We're just not, it's different. Like, history repeats itself, but it's more so that there are similarities and there are lessons that you can draw from it, more than don't live beyond your means, and like be a good steward of your money. And but so even if you had bought a 2 to 5 year home in 2007, 2008, you should be at a point where and again, there's a big difference, because even if the prices go, the prices go down, it only matters if you have to sell.
Right.
If you don't have to sell, it's like a stock. Okay, the stock could go down, but if you bought a stock at 100 and it goes down to 50, but years later when you're ready to sell, it's at 500, like, does it really matter that it was at $50?
And
no.
Is it fair to say that the prices, if the rates were lower, the prices would probably be higher to compensate in some ways?
Yeah. So I think and the other thing I think that people romanticize is that home prices are going to like have this huge drop. In the Great Recession, the prices dropped 30%. Prices didn't go down 50%. So if we're looking at the median price in Clark County at $550, you're not going to buy a house here for $300,000.
Yeah, those days are over.
You're not. Trust, I wish we could, because the exact homes that we want that are like our dream homes here in Clark County sold 10 years ago for literally like 25% of what they're selling for today. Yeah. They're insane. So trust me, I would love to go back to those prices, but I have to realize that that's not happening.
And I like how, I don't know if we were in a training recently, but someone said, marry the home, date the rate. Something to that effect.
I don't really love that phrase.
Okay.
Because...
Well, I guess to me, I appreciate that, because it's like the rate is temporary. Like the rate, if it's a great rate, then it could be a permanent rate. You pay it, keep it and pay it down. Mm-hmm. If it's excuse my French, if it's a shitty rate, you pay it until you have the opportunity to refinance and lower it. right?
Yes.
So when and if those days come of lower rates, you have a home that's home. You like the neighborhood, you like your neighbors, all of the things that you can't easily fix and uproot. Our interest rate is really nothing more than filling out an application and shopping, if that makes sense.
So I would say the key there is like when and if, because one of the conversations that I'm having, and maybe you guys don't know, because when I talk to Jared about one of the conversations I'm having is that he's not part of a lot of the conversations I have with clients, because he's not licensed. So he's here like this as a consultant. But so what I was going to say is that one of the conversations I have with people is like, if you're going to buy now, I wouldn't assume that rates are going to go down. Like, don't assume that things are going to go your way. Like, you need to ask yourself, what happens if rates go down and prices go down? What happens if rates go up and prices go up? Like, every combination of thing, and then decide if it makes sense for you. Can you hold that mortgage payment for the foreseeable future? Don't buy something that's going to stretch your budget so much that, we just went through tons of inflation and they say it's better now. I couldn't tell you. I spent $100 at the grocery store. And I'm like, what the heck did I buy last night? Like,
gas prices, I'm like, it's still kind of hard to. We were paying $4, $5, $6 for 1 gallon of gas that burns through your tailpipe
in 20 miles.
But again, that goes back to me like the 2 to 5 year, which
right. So 2 to 5 years, very good. And so along that line, if you buy a 2 to 5 year house and the timing isn't great when you get to the 2 to 5 year range, it should be a house that you could stay in for 7, but you could turn it into rental. You could sell it. Hopefully you have appreciation. And you're not stretching your means so far. You're not buying your dream house, go one, So I don't know. There's a lot to think about there. So we were talking about inventory. So in the spring, someone asked a question. If mortgage rates remain high, is there an anticipation that the home inventories stay around 2 to 3 months? That's a good question. I would say it depends on if homes get listed. Let's say that mortgage rates remain high in the spring, but now a lot of people here don't like to sell in the winter. It is harder to sell in the winter. You don't always get a deal if you're looking for a seasonal deal, meaning seasonally prices tend to go up in the summer, they come down in the winter. The best month here for prices and the lowest inventory month is January, February, but usually February. So people think, if I buy during the holidays, if I buy around Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'll get a deal. Not necessarily. It's not the best time of year to buy here in this market. But I would say if rates remain high, inventory would likely go up because in the spring, you will have people who will list. Even if the conditions aren't right, there are going to be situations where maybe they put off listing in the winter, but they have to sell in the spring. And there's a variety of reasons, and I talk to a lot of different realtors across the country and here. I have great relationships in town. And, a lot of people are preparing to sell in the spring. So if rates remain high and inventory increases in the spring, which it usually does, then we would expect inventory to go up, which would be better for buyers because there would be more competition and demand would probably be maybe that could be something that would shift us where inventory goes up substantially and maybe demand only increases a little bit. I could see that could be a very real possibility. If rates go down, prices will go up, people will sell because those sellers are going to more than likely be looking to buy. And so if they are like, wow, interest rates are 6.9 and it looks like they're trending down in the spring, then they'll probably be in a hurry to sell because they want to lock in that 6.9 interest rate before potentially interest rates go back up. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of speculation. It's a lot about how people feel. How does the general population feel about the market? That dictates a whole lot more than what Wall Street does, in my opinion. Okay, so we talked about Clark County. We got to get through this. I could talk about this for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. So you can see here, September 2023, 537 homes sold. Then you can see this is listed. Sold 405. And you can see 368 homes went pending. And then you can see the average price. days on market. So for September, we were at, let's do cumulative days on market because that means it could have went pending and then come back on. So median 16 days, not that long. Like in the grand scheme of things, like it's not that long. Average 40 days on market. Then when we go to October, so now we're looking at the similar data. It's a different report, but similar data, but this is just for October. So you can see here how people are buying. Like in some markets, people are like, oh, it's like they're concerned about cash, or you who people say like, oh, there's all these cash buyers coming from California. Like, no, there's not. The data is, I'm going to tell you this exact number, less than 20% of buyers here are cash. So like that's not really something to worry about. I did have a client who got outbid by, not outbid, but actually the cash offer was lower than my client's offer, but the seller didn't feel comfortable taking my client's offer because my client was contingent on their home selling in California, and the seller didn't want to deal with a contingency versus a non-contingent cash offer. So, and that goes back to terms, and we'll always work to figure out what the best terms that you can possibly offer are while still protecting you. You can see the majority of homes that were purchased were with a conventional loan, some FHA, some VA, not a ton of VA. Right now, although a pretty good chunk of my business is VA clients. So sold price for Clark County for October, we're at $615 median. It was $554 last month. Average was $688 compared to $633. So the average didn't have a huge jump, but the median price had a huge jump. I mean, that's really substantial. You can also see days on market, because we're going into the fall and winter, increased from 16 to 25 and from 40 to 17 for average. So more days on market, going back to will inventory increase? I won't have the months of inventory on this report. Again, this report for RMLS, which is our local MLS here, won't come out until like mid-November. So I'm pre-pulling these numbers for you, but they're not all, what is it called? Populated into the trends report yet. But this is fun to see. So you can see the average list to sale price. People are getting their homes for about 2% less than what the original list price is. So if it was listed at $500, on average, people are getting 2% off. So that's $10,000. So you're getting it for $490. And I like that because that means that there's even more room there. I'm like, this is a good time to be aggressive on your offers. This is a good time to ask for seller buy downs. Ask if you don't like an 8% rate, don't blame you. Ask the seller to pay for your buy down. Find out how much it would cost to buy down your rate from your lender. Hopefully that's one of my preferred lenders like Hans or Rebecca, because they are reliable. They are great with communication. They take amazing care of my clients. Like you guys can't see all the behind the scenes things, but I work with a lot of different lenders because I have clients that come to me and they're like, oh, I want to work with this company, or I already was pre-approved with that company, which is fine. Like I don't get anything out of you working with my preferred lenders other than knowing that you're in good hands.
They take a lot of the stress and guesswork out of it. So like those kind of gray, I call them gray zones, and during a transaction, kind of when like you're waiting for an appraisal or you're waiting for this, or, like there's a lot of gray areas over the course of a transaction, and I feel like if you work with the wrong person, it can make those times extra stressful because there's no communication there, or maybe you just don't have the type of relationship where you can call them and just ask what sometimes we consider silly questions. So that the people who you work with and in your circle are people where you can always ask the question. You don't feel, orphaned during those gray zones. And to me, that can make the whole difference between how a transaction is as far as from a stress standpoint, or just being, kind of going through the different channels and process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would say like you'd be maybe you wouldn't be surprised how many times I have clients work with out-of-state lenders that are licensed in Washington, but they're not local. And like closing, the last couple days before closing are unnecessarily stressful on my clients because of the lender they chose. And don't say anything to my clients because at that point there's nothing we can do. But I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, this would be so much easier for you. You would be less stressed right now if you worked with someone local, even if it's not my preferred lenders, because they know how Washington works specifically. Like, and I ask every out-of-state lender that I work with, are you aware that this, and this goes on during the closing, that we need to do this, and this to make sure that closing is smooth? And they always tell me they do, but I'm telling you, about half of the time, like, I don't know, maybe they were lying.
Which is one of the reasons you specifically go through a specific Washington state or Oregon in those cases meeting for people who are looking to buy in those respective states, because the paperwork is different. The forms are different. Every state can be drastically different. So
and we're having some big changes coming to Washington in January that I honestly think more than half of the agents in Washington don't even know about yet.
They're not ready for these.
Our laws in Washington were just changed, and they go into effect on January 1st, and things are going to be very different. For realtors, like, it's going to be a big change for us, and I think it's going to be a lot of conversations with buyers who haven't been through that experience. So I'm already starting to have those conversations with buyers now, because the clients that I'm working with right now that are maybe going to purchase by the end of the year, but maybe we're not going to find anything, they're going to purchase in the beginning of 2024. And I want them to know, like, hey, here's what are the changes that are going to be happening in Washington. So come January 1st, this is what we're going to need to do. Okay. So this was all of Clark County. So we talked about September. This is October. You can see there's significantly more homes sold. And that seems odd to me. Why would there be, what am I missing here? Did I pull the wrong? Clark, sold and sold not listed. Oh. Babe.
Yes.
Why didn't you catch me? I'm like, this isn't right. 1,800 homes sold? That's not right. It was from 2022.
You got me up here telling these people how good you are?
I can catch my mistakes. I'm like looking at it, like, wait a second. Okay.
So
the numbers are,
we just told you guys.
No, the numbers are like, so the numbers are, what was it? 615. The numbers are worse, actually. Similar and worse at the same time. So median for Clark County for the month of October is 663. I think it was 615. So we're way up. And then average of 702 in all of Clark County. Now, the thing to keep in mind if you're like, well, I just want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Vancouver, is that this is including acreage property. It's including Camas, which is more expensive than Vancouver. It's including all of the outskirt areas, which are more expensive than living in town. Sale to list price, relatively the same. So people are still getting, like I said, about 2% off. Median days on market is 26 and 50. It's relatively the same. Units is now correct at 123 units sold in Clark County. The whole county? Wow.
How many?
123.
Yikes.
And that's one thing that's very different. The volume of homes being sold is less than it was in the last 20 years. Interest rates are the highest they've been in the last 20 years.
Is it fair to say if you have a home that you're considering listing, now would be a good time because the inventory is so like unseasonably
Yes,
low?
if it's list ready. I would say if it's not list ready, then I would rather spend the time spend the next couple months getting the home ready to list.
Okay.
And then go live in the spring.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but it's a risk. I mean, right now is the best time to sell. If you need to sell in the next 4 months, I would be listing right now. I'd be like on it to list right away.
Because the whole supply and demand thing, like you'd be wanting a few homes, so
yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't like if you're like, well, we know we need to sell in the winter. I'm gonna wait till January 1st. I wouldn't do that. I would sell now. Like if I had to sell before the end of January, or if I was gonna list before the end of January, if that's what was the thought in my mind, I would list now. Now is gonna be the best time to sell. Between like now and then, the next best time to sell would be like probably mid-March. And sometimes people can't wait that long, you know? Okay, so then we have just Vancouver. Now I gotta check all my dates. All my dates. How did this happen?
Who's living in the past?
Somebody came in and sabotaged my, yeah.
That's what we used to say.
It's clearly sabotage. It's not that I overlooked anything, you know? That couldn't possibly be the case. Okay, let me fix this. Okay. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. I hope this is of value and interest to you. Let's see if we have any comments that I missed. How is it working with lenders through the VA? It's great if you work with a local lender. I do not recommend working with the big VA lenders like Veterans United and USAA, and I don't think they have the best rates. They are, what's the other one? There's another big VA. Navy Federal is slow. Like Navy Federal is great in terms of like banks, credit cards, like, but all of them are not here in Washington. They're very difficult to get in contact with. So, and if you think about like you're buying a house and like this might be your first time going through it, when do you think you're going to be looking at homes? Evenings? Nights, weekends, because that's when you're not working usually, right? While a lot of these big mortgage banks, like Veterans United and USAA, when do they work? Oh, they work bank hours. They work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So if we want to submit an offer, and the market isn't as fast moving as it was in like the COVID market, but I had a client last weekend who was considering 2 homes. Both homes had been on the market for a few weeks. Like one was 30 days, maybe one was like 70 days or something. I'd have to go back and look. And he was kind of like debating between the two of them. They both went under contract in the same weekend without us putting an offer in. So even though like things are staying on the market longer, don't think that just because homes are staying on the market longer that people aren't looking and people aren't interested. And someone who might be just as interested in that home than you, or even less interested, you might love the home. They might be like, this will be an okay home. They might be just a week ahead of you in their decision-making process, and they submit an offer before you. So it's like, yeah, homes are staying on the market longer, but if you wait, somebody's going to buy that home. And to me, the way I look at it, I'm like, the longer the home is sitting, that just means the sooner someone's going to buy it. Maybe it expires, but most homes are selling. Most homes aren't expiring right now. And I would say, so if we're looking at a home on a Saturday and you need to figure out, well, like, hey, if I make this offer, what's my payment going to be? If we need a buy down, like based on the way the rates close on Friday, like, do you think that we should be locking the interest rates? Like if my these are the questions you might be asking your lender, or that I would be having a conversation with the lender. Does it make sense to put this offer in? Do we need to ask for a buy down? How much is that buy down going to be based on this purchase price for this buyer? Because it's not like you're not going into Walmart buying something off the shelf. A rate buy down is based on you and your credit and the interest rates of that day. So it's, when you say working with lenders through the VA, there are lenders who do VA loans, but they don't work for the VA. And so you just want to find a lender who can do VA loans and a local lender who can do VA loans. And I would stay away from the big national banks. They're honestly like a nightmare to work with, in my opinion. Use a VA loan. I'm like 25% of my clients are veterans. So I do a lot of VA loans. Not all of them use the VA loan, especially if it's their second, third, fourth time buying a home, because that VA loan servicing fee gets more expensive every time you use it. So there's a lot of nuance. So that's what I have to say about that. These high interest rates, Mike says, will discourage us from relocating in 2026. I wouldn't even think about the interest rates today to make a decision for 2026. Because, I mean, I was saying earlier, like the smart people, the Goldman Sachs people, they can barely predict, even with a modicum of accuracy, spring 2024. Like, nobody knows where we're going to be in 2026. Not a single person. So, I mean, if you want to relocate in 2026, I would be like, this is our goal. And if everything lines up, that's what we'll do. If not, we're going to, stay here and keep it steady Eddie. Like, but yeah, I think that we will be in a totally different place in 2026. One way or another, meaning if interest rates keep going up, like if this is going to be like the early 80s, prices will fall. But who knows? I mean, nobody knows that. So I wouldn't even be looking at the market. Like if you're not buying or selling in the next year, like, know loosely, like read the headlines, but I wouldn't use it to make a decision based on 2026.
What we got next?
Okay, so we're going to talk about the differences between Vancouver, Camas, and Ridgefield. Those are the 3 cities that I saw most homes in. Obviously, I do all of Clark County. I'm licensed in Oregon. I just sold a home up in Bonnie Lake, which is near Tacoma. Sold a condo on the Long Beach Peninsula. So, I mean...
So is it fair to say, if someone is looking for a home, even if it's not in Greater Vancouver or Portland Metro, still reach out to you because you could probably still make some sound suggestions and maybe even make some introductions?
Yeah, I would say, it depends. If I'm not able to take you on based on what my client load is at the time, then I have great resources and connections with realtors literally all over the country and internationally even. I have several friends of mine that are realtors that are international. They specialize in certain countries. So, yeah, I mean, if I can't help you do your purchase in Seattle, but you still want to talk to me, I can refer you to an agent. And again, depending on my client load, I may be able to help you. We're expanding our service area. That's one of the things we're talking about for 2024 because we have a bigger team now. Just as a few months ago, we went from being a very small team to now having five people, and we are going to continue to grow. That's what we're doing. We're investing in our business. We are looking at new ways to support you guys. So, anywho, talk. Okay. So Vancouver, we had 59 homes sold. This is technically, I mean, if something recorded this morning already, then it would be included in today. But mostly this is going to be from October 1st to October 30th. 59 homes sold in Vancouver at a median sale price of $563. So we go back to Clark County, median sale price of $663. I'm sorry, $565. So Vancouver, compared to the rest of the county, is the more affordable place. And you've seen me say this in videos, but people think like, oh, I want to live in Vancouver, but if it's cheaper to live like a little farther out, then I'll do that. It's not cheaper. People here value their land. They value nature and space, and Vancouver is a little bit more dense. And so you're not going to find 5 acres in Vancouver. There Alexa goes again. That means I've been on too long. Average sale price, $656. That means that there were some higher priced homes that sold that are bringing up the average versus the median. Kind of similar for days on market, similar for sale to list price, so 2% less than, and I wouldn't look at that and be like, oh, I'm going to offer 2% less. No, offer 5% less and see if we can get that offer accepted. This is Camas specifically. So 11 homes sold at a median sale price of $789, and similar days on market, slightly more aggressive on price, but Camas is a higher price neighborhood. Look at that. Average in Camas, $980. That's significant. Camas is definitely expensive. Obviously, you're paying for the schools. You can Google, and that's what people say is one of the biggest benefits of living in Camas is the school district. And then we have Ridgefield. We've got, look at that, median sale price and average sale price are almost the same at $680. Homes are selling for about what they're listed at, but days on market is a lot longer. Kind of interesting to see. So yeah, I would say that, and to, like, let me see if I can show you this really quick. If we go back, like, let's look at Clark County, and you can see, like, we'll go months back. We've got, like, the prices are actually still going up / being flat. So you can kind of see median average price point. This is for the last year. Slightly higher, not a ton. Very, very interesting. So that's kind of the market update. I probably went too deep on some areas and not enough in others. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to touch on. We can cover that next live. And we're going to send you off with something sort of fun. So over the weekend, one of our friends, it was her birthday, and her husband texted our friend group and was like, hey, I want to get together for her birthday. We're thinking about going to dinner. And then he got some feedback from her, and she said, no, I don't want to go to dinner. I want to go on a hike and go to lunch.
My kind of girl.
And So we went on a hike. So we went on the Cape Horn Loop Trail hike. Maybe I should pull that up too.
Not to be confused with Cape Horn Lookout Trail in Netarts, Oregon, which we've actually hiked and did a video on our channel about 2 years ago already. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you. So this is the all trails for the hike. Oh, look at you.
Look at me. Handsome, aren't I?
You are very handsome.
And humble.
So what do you want? Do you want to say anything about the hike? Do you want to tell people about it?
Yeah, so again, I always joke when we meet with clients and we're talking to people who are considering moving, we always say, like the more things that we do while we're here, it's like for every one thing we scratch off the list, we find 3 more things to add. And this is one of those things that have been on our list for a long time because it's you were talking earlier about going out to the gorge, so it's basically just past the end of your How to See Vancouver tour, which I think we should redo it, but you should talk a lot more about it because if you're considering
it's really great if you're coming out here for like an exploration trip. You're like, I want to explore if Vancouver's going to be the place to move. I have a tour. It's like a self-guided tour that you can take
through Google Maps, so like waypoints through Google Maps. So
yeah, and it ends at the Cape Horn Lookout.
Right, which is again, it's just breathtaking. So so again, we've been talking about it. We finally did it again, thanks to our friends and allowing us to come on their birthday hike. But it was just an amazing hike. We had a little bit of a...
We'll talk about it and then I'll show the photos. So it's a 6.8 mile hike.
So it's a 6.8 mile hike. You can go in 1 or 2 directions to basically the loop. Mm-hmm. And what?
No, I'm just looking at you.
And it was one of those things that we're about halfway in. We're like, is this really moderate? You know, because if you read the reviews, some people say this is actually on the difficult side of moderate. And you know, it's a little bit elevation changes and whatnot. But we said this really isn't that difficult, and we spoke way too soon because the hike quickly devolved into some pretty challenging terrain.
So let's show them. So we started out at the parking lot, so this is a view from Cape Horn Lookout. Don't mind the reflection. This is where my driving tour ends because I want you to be able to see what the gorge looks like without having to commit to a hike. Mm-hmm. So this is in the car. That's not such a great photo. I should probably delete that one.
Pictures.
Oh, that's a video. So then we get to the parking lot. We were waiting for everyone.
And this was actually pretty chilly this morning, although not as chilly as we thought it would be. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting. The hike goes up some elevations, and based on the elevation, I found myself either delayering or layering or putting gloves on and taking hats off.
Yeah. So this is the backside of the hill mountain that we were on, so you can see some snow-capped peaks, which were really cool.
We're starting to see the snow cap coming back. And actually, one of the reasons I like this trail is because either direction you go, pretty early on in the hike, you get some really stunning views. Like me, I was kind of lost in the trees right there. You know, still having a great time nonetheless.
Very silly. So this is the view. Let me see if I can show you the video. I shared this on my Instagram story. This was one of the viewpoints, like a lower viewpoint. We actually went higher than this. There's the road. I don't know if you guys can see it.
And to put this in perspective, this is literally less than 30 minutes from Vancouver or Portland for that matter. So, you know, I think I timed it when we were leaving on Google. It was like a 23-minute drive, give or take. So, again, one of the reasons we're so stoked to live here, it's not perfect. So for all of the naysayers and cynics, you know, talking about the problems, and yeah, everywhere has problems. I've never lived anywhere with no problem. But, you know, to live in a place that inspires you to get outside more, and then you have this in your backyard, it just doesn't get old. It's just every time we do something, like what's our conversation like?
Why don't we do this more?
Like, why don't we do this more often? Like, what is wrong with me? Like I should be out here every weekend, probably a couple times a week, taking this in. And it's even better when you have friends, like-minded friends to do it with. Mm-hmm. Look at you smiling and hiking.
Yeah, so this was part of the hike.
Yes. And if you have trekking poles, which is one of the things I'm just kind of getting used to and learning the benefits of. Oh,
you mean like these ones?
Yes. I would actually highly suggest investing in a pair. They're not very expensive. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at any sporting goods store. But they make going up and specifically going downhill so much easier because it takes was trying to, in my mind, like some of the thought process, I'm like, I wonder how much weight this is taking off. Like every time I put my arm down, and I'm just guessing, but it's probably 20 to 30 pounds lighter just based on the force I'm exerting going through the stroke. So my knees felt better. My ankles, which I have problems
I tripped there, and you were like, you're like, get it together, don't fall off this cliff.
Yeah, I have like some problems with my ankles based on the old injuries. But definitely suggest some sturdy shoes because there's a rocky section that literally blew my mind. I'm like, this can't be part of the trail. But show that little payoff though,
This one?
Yeah.
So this is another viewpoint.
I mean, guys, I'm just like, this is unbelievable. So some sturdy shoes for this specific trail. And, maybe, I was the only one who used trekking poles, but God, I loved having them.
Well, I think you probably were one of the people struggling the least. So this is that rocky part he's talking about. And that hill really was that steep. Like it's...
Well, this angle doesn't do it justice. I mean, it was probably a 20 to 30 degree incline on loose rock.
Yeah, I'm like, who built the trail here where they just like laid this rock down? It's super loose. Everyone's ankles were sore the next day.
So I'm having a huge chuckle in my head because I'm like, I spoke way too soon when I said, oh, this isn't difficult or moderate, so.
That's crazy.
I couldn't, and it was so rocky. I just collapsed the trekking poles and just held them because they weren't doing me any good on a all rock surface. At least with the tips that I had on there. So this is a waterfall at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll get this on. I don't know why it's not loading.
So we had to go across a little bridge. So again, a great event, great hike, is highly recommended. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for, you have to be probably in moderate shape, I would say. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, this is, you definitely...
Like, don't make this your
is not
first.
A beginner
Don't make
hike.
this your, I'm just getting off the sofa for 5 years. This is my first hike. Don't do that to yourself, but work up to it, both in difficulty and in length. It's definitely moderately difficult.
Yeah, it was a challenge.
So yeah, we did that, and then last night, what did we do? You forgot already?
Hold on, I gotta change the scene.
No, change the scene. So.
Hold, please.
Yeah, we love that, and definitely we're committing to doing more. I got all of this great gear, and half of it, so it's brand new. I'm trying to break it in.
Wait a second, I gotta change this.
No worries.
To...
So you'll definitely, I guess I said that to say, you'll definitely see more hikes and outdoor excursions on the channel because it's like, why not?
Julian says, I'll be out there for damn sure.
That's right, man.
So we did a PBOT, Portland Bureau of Transportation, had a safety hike. Ride.
Bike ride. So again, just if you'll allow me.
Yes.
So we just talked about, again, some of the virtues of being in Greater Vancouver, in Portland Metro, if you're interested or living there as well, having that access to the gorge. Well, another great thing living here in Greater Vancouver, in our case, is having access to Portland. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's always something going on for you to learn about and tap into. As those of you who follow the channel, that we love bikes. I'm in love with bicycling. And anytime there's an opportunity for us to go explore the city, learn new areas, do different events, I'm always all over it. So I heard about this event on PBOT, Portland Bureau of Transportation, and they did a See and Be Seen night ride.
Yeah, we're not on camera, so let me play it and then you could talk about it.
Fashion show. If you sign up, you'll start here. You will model whatever item you're modeling will I say shenanigans, and you can pose. Try to pose wherever you want to. If you want a picture, Renata will take it, or no, Brittany. Brittany will take it, and then everyone will clap because what's better than shenanigans? Clapping. All right. So first up.
So to set it up, this was a ride that was sponsored by Vision Zero, Portland Bureau of Transportation, free event, and basically it was all about bicycle safety.
Yeah. So hence see. So you want to be able to see when you're riding at night, but then also you want people to see you.
And be seen, and they kind of made it fun with the little fashion show, so you can show off all your high vis gear. We were probably the lowest vis in the crowd.
We were like getting dressed like, what do we have that we could wear?
But it was a great, because it started kind of at sunset. So I think it's fashion show ran from 5 to 5:30. The ride started at 5:30. The days are getting shorter now, And it was great for me to explore Portland by bicycle, guided by people who know the area. Is amazing. And then as the sun set and, the lights came on and everything, like I was like a little kid again. So you'll see some of the footage. Hopefully it comes through smoothly on the video, but we're riding. It was an 8-mile ride, so not tremendously long. It wasn't fast paced. It was very casual. And there was a lot of support there, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. So had an absolutely great time. And there's stuff like that literally, guys, throughout the week going on. You just have to learn about it. And one of the things I think we're going to start doing is compiling as best we can, some of the events that we think you might be interested in. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this must be some kind of lag then, because.
Did you pause it?
No, I took myself off of Wi-Fi though, just to help our stream, which they say is healthy. I think so.
Yeah.
No, that was an hour ago. Yikes. But again, a great time last night in Portland riding the bikes. I don't get a chance to ride much at night or in the city, but I definitely liked it. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Temperature was good. You said you're a little chilly, so it's time to swap those gloves and helmet liners over.
Yep.
So, we just want to show some things that are going on, some things that we do, I guess, personally and privately that you guys can definitely tap into if you're so inclined.
Yeah, Portland is great. Like, Portland and Vancouver is great for, like, oh, it's a Tuesday night, or, well, that was a Monday night. Like, let's put this on the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
Just as, like, an after-work event.
And, I'm looking at it because it's healthy. We're outside getting fresh air. We're learning the city. It's free. So for the cheapskate in me, absolutely loved it. Oh, you're going to raise it up a little bit. Stop cutting me head off. Thank you.
You need a chair over here.
I do need a chair, the director's chair. So yeah, great event. We'll try to bring you guys, we're always trying to find a balance, right? To me, I don't want to be too realtor-y is what I call it, facts and figures, and obviously it's important. But also we want to show you the balance that we think living here encourages and supports. So that whole live, work, play thing that's often overused to me, I found it's never been more accurate than living here.
Yeah. So we will have some new videos out. What are we working on? We've got
Old World Apples.
We're gonna do some more what they don't tell you about, probably for like Washougal, Battleground, and Ridgefield. They're already out for Vancouver and Camas. So if you haven't watched those are really good videos to watch.
And then also we want to do more Portland, not necessarily versus Vancouver, but a lot of people are looking at Vancouver as an alternative to a suburb of Portland. So the people who live in Hillsborough or Beaverton or you name it, and vice versa in some cases. So you'll see more of that as well. So
that's what we have planned. Hope you guys have a good day. We've got a good prepped for our afternoon appointments. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Always, we don't take it for granted that you guys find an hour and a half to hang out with us. But we hope it was useful to you and that you feel like you know us a little better. And we like to get to know you in the comments. So leave a comment, like this video if you haven't done that already. Make sure you're subscribed, all the things.
And if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Pacific Northwest, shoot this girl a text.
Right there.
360-818-4438.
That's it.
All right, guys. See you later. Happy Halloween. Ciao.